Because I didn't see the button.
Uh, in the more button. Did you see
No,
the
no,
more button?
but it's because you're not host. Only host can do it.
Okay, makes sense.
Only host and only person with Zoom account, like Async API Zoom account. But I think, Kasali, that you're logged in with Postman email. So you're,
Oh, that must be the problem.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to leave the meeting and join with my regular one in case that helps later on. If that's okay. Okay.
So let's wait for Kesali. Sally, where are you? Oh, here it is. Okay, folks, so welcome to another bi-weekly meeting of the Maintainers Growth Working Group. Gonna start sharing the screen. Okay, host disabled participant screen sharing. Ace, could you do some trick, please?
Let's see.
I changed it to multiple participants. Does that help now?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it does. Thanks.
Alejandro, you just took my shine.
Not gonna let you shine all the time, Ace. I have an ego.
Okay, so as usual, let's start by asking if you have any questions before going to the topics. I see Lucas is here. Alex, maybe you have some question. Not yet.
No questions.
Okay. Okay, so let's move to reviewing the board. I'm gonna try to do it quickly. This is I have to work on this because I have to remove old completed stuff, I guess. So this is not why this is not as cool as Jira. Just kidding. But yeah, I have to work on this anyway. So from my memory, I think yeah, this was one of the tasks we had to do. Get Sally did. I think it did during the last meeting. So okay, that's done. Mm, those two here, yeah, you Ace obviously scheduled this actual meeting. Cool for you. Thank you. Um, asking maintainers about repositories of the automation project. I did it, but in the same. Sorry, because I have no voice. I know you like my voice, but today you're not gonna enjoy it. Um, I did that in the same issue as the other task that was about creating an issue for collecting feedback from the automation project. For those that don't know about automation project, well, we chose to call it automation project, but I don't know if that's the name. So it's the project that is in charge or responsible for automation on CI/CD across the whole async API GitHub organization. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lucas, because you are mainly one of the contributors to this. So I did. I created that. That's done. We will go there later because it's another another topic on the agenda. And what else? What else? I think that's all. On that side, in the in progress side, Ace created a pull request that is in draft. That we have to review it. I added as well that as a topic for in the agenda, so you can talk about this, Ace, if you want later, or keep reviewing the board. What else? Yeah, this one that is a to do, that it was a right. That's not very. I would say it's not very crucial. So it was some comment that we shared during the last meeting about how we want to list, or how we think we want to list the working groups, or just one working group in the website. Doesn't matter at this point. So, and I think that's all, because yeah, this one Tuli shared something as well that I added into the agenda, so we will talk about it later on. So I think everything is under control. Any question before we jump into all those topics individually? Cool. Okay, so Ace, do you want to jump into this one? We could do like a quick, I don't know if review. It's short, but we didn't got any review yet. So I don't know if we want to do a quick reading. It's on you, so you can share the screen if you want, and do whatever you want.
I mean, it's okay. You can just share so we can all see it. I think we all have the link. If we don't, I suggest you share the link on
Done.
chat. Yep, cool. So I think in the last discussion we spoke about converting this document to pull request, so you can all like review it. But it seems like you all have been busy and no one has reviewed this pull request yet. Did anyone look into it?
Oh, no, I did not. Did you announce this somewhere? I'm sorry, because I really completely missed it.
Yeah, I think Sergio mentioned it in the working group channel.
Oh. Well, I'll definitely take a look at this today.
And yeah, I can see you looked at it with the emoji.
I did? No.
The emoji is
No.
yours.
Oh my God, those emojis are my undoing. Okay.
Okay, anyway, as this is kind of like recurring thing, I vote for adding more visibility into everything we do. So extra verbosity is not gonna hurt. So
Yeah, and I should
me
also
the
have
first.
yeah, I think I should also have shared it individually when I like converted it with draft requests to folks like Tuli and Kwazali. So I'm not supposed to like say Alejandro anymore. I forgot. Forgive me.
So okay, let's move forward then. I don't think we should review this at this time, so we need more time, individual time. But I would say it would be nice to have this reviewed like by the end of the week, so we can move forward. But just a suggestion. So sorry, because Are you sharing the screen? I am sharing the screen. This is like,
I think that's your screen.
what is happening? Like my Zoom is trying to share something, but it's not sharing. Or it is. Okay, now. Okay, I hope that works. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes, GitHub.
Sure. We're looking at Ace's docs that he made, the working group.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what I was saying that it would be nice to have this review by the end of the week. So I don't know what you think about it. Do you believe you will be able to do it?
Yeah, I will
Not
take a look at it tomorrow.
cool. I mean, not my intention to add pressure, but just to move forward. Okay. Where is? Come on. So moving into the next topic. This is the issue I created. I created it 2 days ago, and I'm sorry because I was off the whole week. But yeah, next time I will try to create it in advance before I go off, just to give more time. But anyway, so I created this one into the .github repository, which I believe is where most of the job of the work in the automation project is done. And the intention of this issue, for those that don't know, was to get feedback on this project, since Luca suggested us in I think 2 prior meetings, I don't remember exactly, to start working on this project, help maintainers to do whatever they need. And this was exactly the meaning of this issue, to get info, to know about the project a bit more and the needs of the maintainers. And we got some short answer, but still a really nice one, because very practical. Lucas, what he's saying here is that we could start by writing some documentation about the workflows, the GitHub CI/CD workflows, because it seems he found out that a lot of maintainers struggle on that side, especially the maintainers of Saunter project, and that he had like several. It's there in the comment, right? Like he had several meetings with them, just sessions explaining how that work, how the workflows work. So yeah, I think it's a good start. It's a good way to start, because this is not only something that will help Sounder maintainers, but just any maintainer, right? So all the repositories, mostly all the repositories, 99% of the repositories are using those workflows. And whenever you become maintainer of any of those projects, so you will have to deal with those automations at some point. And to be honest, it has a big learning curve, because we had tons of workflow. So everything is automatic, everything is magic here, and it's super nice. But at the same point, it's very hard to understand. So yes, Lucas, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Do you want to share anything else on what you wrote there?
No, you summarized it pretty well. So basically, the problem is related to every single maintainer, really, in Async API. So when Sounder joined Async API, they need docs to understand if they want to opt in to all the workflows that we have, or just selected ones. Now, for example, in the GSOC, I have two maintainers, two candidates for being maintainer in the generator. And yeah, one of the things I have to explain them first is to have a session. Last week I had a session with them to explain so something that I call local workflows, so specific just for the generator. And the next session I have to do with them is like, what the heck all the other workflows are doing, like the release workflow, PR testing, and all the others. Like, so they understand, like, whenever somebody will start complaining, what they have to do as maintainer, how they can help. Like even basics, like basically don't edit them in the generator repo because they're gonna be overwritten by the automation. So definitely there's a lot of docs, I think a lot of docs that have to be provided. And also in this, not just for a specific workflow, but overall, like explain that we have this concept that I call now as global workflows and local workflows. And then that global workflows does not mean that you have to use all of them, that we have this feature that basing on the topics in the repo, some workflows will be sent, some not. And then what workflows are these? And that's et cetera, et cetera. So my plan was that something that I actually promised to Sounter and I have to do for generator folks as well. I think the best is not, and I don't expect someone will on their own learn everything that I know. So I know that some kind of knowledge sharing session has to be done to get help. So I basically planned to record a video where I drop all the knowledge in the video and then somebody can do something with it. Unless there's a better way.
Yeah, as I said, I believe this is very important, and it was something that was like chasing us in the past as well. Yeah, I believe we should, if we agree, if we all agree on that, working on this, from the point of view of the working group, we will have to set up some goals around this, and yeah, let's call it key results or whatever word we want to use, right? Like some way of measuring if we go in the right direction. So what we expect from this, I would say the expectation of all this work that Lucas is requesting here. What do you think?
Well, from my perspective, the best would be if it lands somewhere in the website and then I just have a link and I just send a link. So new maintainer, hey, that's your automation onboarding guide. You don't have to read everything. The most important, read the intro. And then if you have something to do with the release workflow, then go back to this onboarding guide and you're going to have more details about release. So basically having some lightweight and some heavy docs. However, if there's Quetzal, you can comment if in tech writing there's something like this that you call some docs lightweight and some heavy. So yeah, basically like a really quick onboarding that onboards you to the concept of this workflows, even simple explanation that GitHub Actions are used and nothing else. And then you have this reference additional that you never read until you need it, really. So we need both.
Yes, sorry if I didn't respond before. I was more listening, but yes, I'm definitely happy to turn that information in your video into docs. I don't think I've written any workflow docs for us yet, so sounds like a useful task. Yes, definitely happy to help with that.
I'm also curious, like, where are we gonna place this doc? Are we gonna have like a separate content bucket, or we are gonna like have like put it in the community content bucket?
I don't think workflows would necessarily have a entire community, sorry, an entire content bucket or an entire category toward them. Lucas, are you thinking of having these directly in the website docs, or were you only thinking about having them in the repository documentation?
I'm a huge fan of having everything in the website, um, rather than the repo, because then we have a bunch of markdowns spread across repositories, and if it's all in the website, then we out of the box get it indexed by Algolia, so it's searchable in the website. SEO also works pretty well then, and discoverability through any crawlers. So I think the best for me would be if it's in the under asyncAPI.com.
I was thinking about maybe we could have a new section for the workflow documentation under the tools content bucket. I think that might make sense.
Hmm.
I think it I would suggest to do it under new section. I saw there is one called under the community. There is one contributing that right now is linking to some markdown in somewhere under GitHub.
So are you saying that you think that the workflow documentation should be underneath the community contribution information?
Yeah, because you won't work with those, with the workflows, unless you are a developer of any tool or any, you know. If you are just a user of a tool, you won't be dealing with workflows.
That sounds logical to me. I don't think that this merits its own content bucket, and I would vote against that. But I do think it makes sense to host this information in the community contribution section. So I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Looking forward to your video, Lucas. I hope I can understand your English. Haha.
I don't know how to respond to it.
Which
I could say something in Polish.
I'm wondering how we will want to again measure the success, because right now that we don't have any metric for that. Well, we do have one metric that it's, yeah, let me come back to it. I know I'm not sharing the screen, but I'm in the previous issue where Lucas shared the feedback. And he said blah 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 blah. He had like meetings. How much time did it take those meetings to like achieve some understandable knowledge, Lucas? Just by curiosity.
So I didn't do the meeting about the global workflows yet. So so maybe to give you some of the background what I'm actually doing. So through Google Summer of Code, instead of submitting some issue for a new feature, I submitted a project where I basically offered that through GSOC somebody can become a maintainer. So I have two guys, one based in US, one based in India, that collaborate together as candidates for being maintainers. And I'm treating them like they know nothing. So I have a weekly call where I onboard them to the project. So we're obviously talking about some code related stuff, but also if we don't have anything in the agenda, I give them like I explain certain parts of the generator. Like for example, the first thing I explained was who are the maintainers of the project, who's code maintainer, who's docs maintainer, how to reach out to people. That some are on-demand maintainers where we just let them know, hey, you're important in the pull request. Some are full-time focus on the project, etc. So that was the one thing. So for me, it already means that like, okay, actually, and they needed it. It was important for them to explain who's who. So for me, it's a signal, okay, probably every project needs that. Then I explained the local workflows because they need to know like that we publish Docker file and how we do it. They need to know that we have some custom pull request testing with a custom project, and they need to know why that's the thing and how it works. And this particular meeting took me 1 hour. The global one, I don't know. We'll
They
see. We'll see. But probably no, I don't know. Do you think it's gonna? Oh, actually,
no, just kidding.
but it might take more than 1 hour because of the amount of workflows. Depends also how deep we'll go into the details because not. So I'll be focusing in my video. I'll be focusing on the maintainer of not .github, but a maintainer of any other repo. So I will not be explaining things like, hey, we favor if the workflow is based on script action instead of bash, or we reuse workflows this way or that way. It's purely .github related, the related to the maintainers of the workflow. So this is not going to be in the video. So maybe when I'll be just focusing on overall explanation of the target of the goal of the workflow, maybe it's in the end it's not a lot. Maybe because I never did it before, so maybe maybe it's just like like workflow and 2 paragraphs, and then maybe that's enough. So
Yeah.
It's not that
I
very fun.
just wanted to have like that's the only metric we have at this point, right? Like, and of course you could keep that model of doing sessions, right? Like Zoom calls, whatever, on any new potential contributor. But I guess we all agree that doesn't scale well. But also I believe this initiative is not only helping those, but at the end, just calling others to become maintainers because everything is gonna be much easier, at least in that side. So again, I think we have to find out this kind of metric and how we want to go to another status. Like if we are spending, let's say it's not accurate, of course, but if we are gonna spend, I don't know, 1 hour in total, let's say, per new maintainer, like trying to onboard new maintainers. So how we want to reduce that number, right? Somehow. I don't know if that's a possible metric, and I don't know if we could measure that somehow. But maybe it's easier than saying how many maintainers we got thanks to this change, which is very hard to know, right? So yeah, I believe we should discuss this at some point in an issue or whatever as a next step as well. I don't know what you think. Besides discussing what we have to do, right? How we want to document that, which is, I believe, Quetzali will help. But
Yeah, in this case, it's pretty complex measurement
yes,
because also every maintainer is different. I mean, for example, I never did such a detailed, let's try to call it professional onboarding to maintainer. So, but I already see it's beneficial. Like, and what we do is like we proactively, like even like before this meeting, I had a meeting with them, and we are identified some basics for development experience for maintainer that I never knew they might be a problem. So we already know that we're gonna have a follow-up, and we're gonna start developing a development guide for generator that will address these basics. And it's in the long term, it's gonna be much easier to extend it as well. So what I'm making sure is that every meeting ends up with not just me talking, but we actually get a kind of document out of it for future. And later we can just point, like, you want to be maintainer, look onto developer guide. Do you have any additional questions? Then ask.
Anyone wants to share their opinion, questions?
I shared an opinion, but I'm not sure it's worth sharing.
Huh.
So I
Non-PPE.
only have one concern. Few seconds.
Yeah. Power outage. That was his concern. So
I
Quetzal, you
think
can
so.
Quetzal, you can share your opinion now.
No. I have to turn it back on because I have to turn it back on because I'm black. So you might not end up seeing me. Okay. So what I was majorly concerned about, right, is what if we end up like saying we have this onboarding material like completed in like a week or in 2 weeks, right? But then we might not like immediately start seeing like results. So do we like wait till we see result, or we have to like move on to something else while we wait for result?
I would say we don't have to wait any result. Like we shouldn't stop the train go forward, right?
Okay.
But still we have to measure something. Just it's not only about curiosity, but just to measure the success of the initiatives, even though it's very difficult, as Lucas said, but still we have something. Yeah, we are going from 1 hour, just considering both globals and local workflows, let's say 1 hour. We can even invent that number, kind of like based on, I don't know, the work Lucas is doing. But moving that into next time we are sharing the link, are we getting feedback from that link, or it's enough? People get onboarded automatically by giving that the link. That that would be awesome, right? So wherever this feedback comes from, like for example, Lucas, every time he shares the links, he would nicely share with us, hey folks, so I don't know, some kind of feedback, like I shared the link 5 times this week. I don't know. It seems like weird, but that's the only way of measure this. Besides technically stuff like Google Analytics, which it could give us the number of clicks and visits, but we don't really have which human is behind that, right? Like if it's a real use case, if it solves the issues or the doubts, the question they had, so on.
What about as basic metric as possible? So the working group is maintainers growth. So the metric is how many maintainers we have. And of course, like I said, like I don't think anybody expects that we do the let's say the workflows guide and week after 10 new maintainers. Like so nobody expects that, right? But it would be nice in 6 months to see if there was any change. But we need basic number first. Like we need the current number. And then we can and always and and something that I think we should align on approach to the metrics, but metrics is not always, not sure how to explain it, but it's, so Katsali can understand my English. So
No
not,
promises.
so the thing that the thing about the metrics is that sometimes it gives you numbers, but you actually need to start investigating more to understand where they're coming from, right? So sometimes when for example, when I started at some point of time a few years ago, when I started looking into metrics on monthly basis, and I wasn't yet get used to the community, and I checked them in July, and I was like, oh my God, community is dying. Like nobody's active. Like it's dead. Nobody. It's like only few people chatting on the in Slack. Something happened. Like maybe I
Ghost
dropped
town.
some bad message. And then I started investigating and understood that like actually it's every year the same. Holiday season, like it's quiet. Um so 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 I lost what I wanted to say. Thank you, people. Uh, so the thing is that let's say we have now 40 maintainers, and in 6 months we're gonna have 50. Then of course we will not be able to say it's because of that. We can only then say, okay, let's check the 10 new people that joined and investigate their path, how they joined. Was on one of the stages the guides helpful for them, or for the maintainer that onboarded them? Did they help anyway? Just to like, and then you can actually say, okay, we have 10 more, and 5 of them were onboarded through the onboarding guide. And then it's a, I think it's a metric, semi-automated, semi-manual, that gives us something.
Just for clarifying, so you mean those maintainers to become maintainers on the .github repository, and yeah, I guess generator. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, maintainers like maintainers in all the repos, because
In
Really?
general, not just
yeah,
dot.
because the help that I need for .github, it's not that I needed to onboard new maintainers to .github.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yes.
yeah, so in my video I will not go into details how to contribute a new workflow, how we do workflows properly. I probably not handle that. It's gonna be more an onboarding guide to any maintainer, so they understand how automation works in Async API initiative.
Okay.
That there are local, that there are global, and globals, what they are, what they can opt into, how to opt out from some. So that's what I,
Question.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Did we ever actually answer Alex Godwin's comment in the chat? He left a question. He wrote, "When's the maintainer onboarding? What are the requirements?"
So I think the question is like really, really far back,
Oh,
because a lot of things are like already like happened, and I think Godwin is really late to the party. So I think we need to, you know, kind of give him some kind of summary.
so maybe just explain that Lucas was onboarding a few folks because of his mentorship program with GSOC. And as he was onboarding and teaching them how to become maintainers, he's been figuring out the best way to create maintainer onboarding guides. And I hope that's a summary of what he was referring to. Yeah, I just felt bad because I thought that we had accidentally ignored Alex's question.
Don't blame all, it's Sergio.
I'm used to.
I feel bad because of Sergio, we ignored Alex's question.
Yeah. You're doing right. You have to feel bad. I don't. I'm kidding. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So everything is right. Next time feel free to interrupt because yeah. This is how it works, the meetings.
We're so passionate about it that we
Yes,
can
that's
just
the
miss
point.
some comments.
You guys told the word. Cool. So what about doing I took some notes here. So as an action, I think we will have to properly define the where, the how, the what of this new documentation. So the where, obviously, we already discussed this. If we want in the website, where, blah, blah. How?
But the sources in .github, of course, like, so source files, markdown files, we have to maintain them in the .github repo. But we are gonna push them out to website, like.
Well, wait, that's a problem though, because if you keep the source in the .github, but then Sergio had recommended we put this in the community, which is, so that's confusing. How are we going to source from GitHub to community when the community content bucket is sourced from the community repo?
It's in the end automation. We can do some magic and
So it doesn't sound messy? I guess in my mind it sounds messy.
a bit.
But
Then
look
we
at
have like a duplicate files.
wait a minute. Not even a minute, a second. So community tab in let me share the screen. Come on. We are
So each one of those content buckets is being sourced from, well, most of those content buckets come from individual repositories. So when you go to tools, Glee docs are coming directly from the Glee repository. When you go to reference, the spec docs are coming sourced directly from the spec repo. And community documentation coming directly from community repo. So that's why I brought up this point and say, wait a minute, Lucas, if you're saying that this content goes under community, then why are we sourcing this in .github? To me, that seems messy. Confusing.
How does it work? Because when you click here, it goes to GitHub, for example, contributing.
No, you have to click on docs.
No, docs. We're talking about where the docs are sourced from.
This
Okay,
community.
I was talking about this part. Maybe I was
No.
yeah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go there. No, because that's not docs.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen again.
Better not, Sergio. I'll be
Yeah.
watching.
I failed. I'm sorry. Community, okay. So if we click here, okay. Well, this is the first time I see this. No, I'm kidding. But okay. So you say this is in the community repository, right? Quetzali?
Yes, any content we add that we're about to add in our community, so far it's all sourced directly from the community repo. That's why I thought this was kind of weird.
I'm not sure if it fits in community, whatever. It's wherever is whatever
That's what you
fits
proposed.
content for development, right?
You
Yeah.
proposed earlier, but now I realize that you were thinking about it. It's so funny how that actually your proposal
thinking
worked,
it.
but even though you were thinking about a completely different area.
But that's why it worked, because I was wrong.
So actually though, Sergio, we are currently in community repo working on moving over some docs that are already ready. Like for example, there's a technical writer onboarding guide and a few other miscellaneous items that are going to be pushed over. And we are going to be adding new content along the lines of different contributor guides. So when you brought up your idea, even though now we realize you were talking about a different item, what you said actually ironically made sense because we are discussing adding maintainer onboarding guides to the community content bucket. So if we're saying that understanding how these workflows work has a part of being a maintainer, it does make sense that this would be part of the contributor guide information under the community content bucket. So I still actually think that what you said makes sense now that we are all on the same page, but I still want to understand if it isn't messy or weird to have this sourced in GitHub versus community repo.
So I definitely agree it can get messy. And my only motivation to maintain it under .github is that whenever we make changes to workflows and something has to be updated in docs, it's just easier. Like that's why generator.
Yeah.
That's like why generator docs, we keep them in generator, because otherwise updating docs would be harder. Probably we would skip it. We would do it as a follow-up, and that would suck. So that's why I out of the box think about .github repo.
Yeah, that's a good point, because if we put it in community, then whenever someone updates a workflow or adds a new workflow, they'll be less motivated to in the same moment go ahead and update the docs. So in lieu of that, I kind of I can't believe it. I agree with Lucas. Hate saying that.
I
It's
mean,
the worst.
we can always do the automation in a way that we don't push to the website. We push from .github to community repo.
Wait, well, that's what I thought we were discussing, that if we source it in the .github repo, the automation is still going to push it to the community content bucket and website. That's what I thought we were discussing.
Yes, but we can, if we don't want to push it to the website, we can push it to the community repo from where it's pushed to the website. Then we have this clear link between content bucket and the repo. But just some things in the repo come from other repos.
Basically duplicated content, right?
Yeah, like we have already in the website a lot of duplicated content.
Yes.
But
I think
we have it for a good reason.
I think it's easy to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what search engines think. As long as it's for a good reason, we're good.
Yep.
Lucas had good intentions. We won't mark this. So do we need to follow up to decide if we're gonna source it in GitHub and push it automatically to website, or push it to community and then to website?
Honestly, I suggest first to wait for the content for the videos and actually see what it's gonna be. Because maybe it's gonna, because it's, for me, it's really hard to predict what I'm gonna produce. Because I'm gonna do a freestyle knowledge sharing.
I have that to look forward to.
And might be that it's gonna be so generic that it's actually good fit for community repo, and we're gonna argue about something that doesn't make sense. So.
We'll find something to argue about. That'll never be a problem. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's first see it and then actually write the content with you, and then you're right, at that point we'll probably have more opinions of where it goes.
I guess the question, embarrassing question, when do you plan to do that video?
Oh, he said this
approximately.
Q3 2025. So like next week, I'm traveling to API Days Helsinki, and then some weird party in Barcelona, and then I have a week off to
my God.
enjoy
Come
Barcelona.
On. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm gonna be in
Where are you
Barcelona. I have to
working?
stay there.
My man, living his best life.
Director's life.
Yeah, exactly.
Just bring some stickers, some papers.
All
bottles.
open source directors live this way.
Wait, so it sounds like it's gonna be like for
In a
real
month.
Q3 2025 before we see that video.
Live long and prosper.
Oh God.
No, that's good you share, because now we have to work on something else. I mean, like in the meantime, right? Regarding this, obviously we are not going to change topics or projects, please. But maybe it makes sense to discuss, even though the content could be A or B. Maybe we can discuss topics like Quetzalish said, even though you say we don't have to. But like, where should we put this in the community repo or not, push it, whatever? I
I
mean, the
kind of
same Quetzalish
feel.
said.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
And also, I think, how are we going to promote this? I think we can't just have it. I mean, we have to like let people know this seed exists.
Isn't that what we have developer advocates for?
I see Quetzali's today. She's uh,
Spicy.
having the good mood.
I'm just gonna
But
pretend I
yes,
don't exist.
spicy is a good.
No. We want you to exist because we don't want to do your work.
I'm just gonna turn off my lights.
Okay.
Okay.
So except of announcement, you can also, and I think without my videos, it should be possible. So basically, again, my video will just be related to the automation. And I think we are all on the same page that automation explanation is just one of many topics that maintainer will have to be onboarded to, right? To understand async API maintainers work. So automation is just one of many different parts. So you can already think about like how this is going to be visible in the website. Like when somebody, like for example, in the content bucket, will there be maintainer guide? And then if there's maintainer guide, when somebody clicks on it, will there be some diagrams, some boxes, some intro, like you know what I mean, like how that's gonna be structured? Because the structure here is pretty custom. I don't unless Katsali, you think that the framework that we use in the technical docs can be used in community docs, but that's something that you probably can explore without my videos, like how when this doc where this docs will be placed in some more generic docs and how it's going to be shown. Like let's say automation is one that is there, and all the others that are planned can be visible, but like to be delivered or whatever. Like how you gonna do it, if you need design for it, if you want to do it. Like one of the nice things, I think one of the maintainers from website, Ayush, probably, I don't remember who, but they shared a maintainer guide, actually community guide, contributor guide, or maintainer guide. I don't remember, but he shared that it was structured in the way of the path, like that, to like maybe not gamification, but like in the way that you have like to know everything maintainer should know. That's your path. That's your learning steps, learning path. So you can already have a discussion about it, I guess.
Well, the other thing is that this is only a brief idea of what the information architecture could look like, which is what we're discussing right now, right? The outline where things belong. But I wanted to mention that what we originally proposed for 2024 Google Season of Docs, which was maintainer, community, guide information, that kind of gives us an idea of how we could structure information. And then, of course, we would add one for workflows. I think it fits in very well there. So I think that's kind of like a brief, quick way to get an idea of how we can start looking at it And whenever, Lucas finishes his video, after he's done vacationing for a month, then when I write the document, what?
Saying it's 1 week, not months.
So yeah, sure. Then he comes back for 2 days, and then he'll say, "Okay, well now I'm going out for another 2 weeks. Be back later." But I swear, anyway. So then when he sends me the video, when I write out the document, my plan is to also showcase there in the draft my proposal of where to put this information. But yeah, it's kind of like what if you open the link that I shared and you go to propose these KPI docs projects, when you go to the second solution, expand community docs, that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm thinking of. I can also screen share if that helps. Did I screen share? I'm screen sharing. Can you see my screen okay? Yeah, so essentially important workflows and processes such as contributor, maintainer, ambassadors, gratifications, governance and transparency, community health. So I see a new section for workflows related to this. Now, I'd have to think about this a little bit more deeply, but this is just an idea to get started. Because in the other comment that Lucas wrote here in Maintainers Growth Working Group, he is discussing, different kinds of docs about workflows, but I know that overall we've been discussing needing maintainer guides just in general. So that's why I thought it might also be relevant to showcase this whole thing.
I saw there. Oh no, don't stop
Sorry,
sharing.
but I didn't know you were still. Nobody was talking, so I thought nobody cared. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Where is it? Yes. What can I annotate here? Yes.
Oh,
Is
I
in
guess.
this?
Oh yeah. And you see
And
global and local
yeah,
workflows.
nice.
So part of it was already there, but I have a feeling Lucas is gonna have more than just that. So it may
Yeah.
not belong under maintainer, depending on how much content he has. It may merit its own, little category.
I I have to say I love it. I mean,
Okay.
I think makes totally sense.
Yeah, cool. I thought it would be nice to see that we already have a structure proposed and organized so that we didn't feel that we were starting from scratch.
Yeah. You did a lot of work there.
Yeah, we didn't get accepted, but still relevant work. We still get to do it. So I still am glad that I did this exercise. Woof, Lucas disappeared. Um, should I stop sharing or?
Yes, you I mean, on my side, I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, he has to go. Goodbye, Lucas.
Yeah,
Parents gathered sounds like torture.
yeah, it is. I can tell you it is.
Sorry.
So last point, I know we are out of time. I'm just gonna mention it very quickly. Okay. The last point was I added was to review or ask all of us to review this document that Tuli created.
Oh, wait, I
Um,
thought it was already submitted because Lucas
oh,
wrote that it was due on Friday. Last
really?
Friday.
Oh no. Let me quickly pitch in. Sorry, I'm out of time, but I'll try as much as possible to summarize in less than 1 minute. Okay, so this is a different one from the one Lucas has. So this is a separate research project, right? So this was something that I was working on, like since we wanted to grow like the maintainers. So the idea that I had, it was more of a research that will also help like as a as a sync API community whereby we bridge the gap between contributors and maintainers. So I'm going to submit this next week, but I won't be available. I'm taking a break next week, but I will submit it next week. So yes, this is the proposal that I have. And yeah, I would like to do this research under the working group as well. So you can just have a look and see and improve it. It's just a draft. It's not final. I will do the final draft like next week. But yeah, this is what I came up with that I've been working on. Like to do a proper research because currently we are doing like more like guesswork. So I want like to take time to for us like to really deep dive, do interviews, do things properly. Then we can see how we can implement it. So yeah. So this is the research document and the proposal that I have. Then yeah, see how we can improve it and
Question for Thuli. Where are we submitting this to? Or is this just
okay, we're submitting under the Digital Insights Fund. It's Ford Foundation Fund that does
um
open source research. Yes.
okay, got it, got it. Oh wow. Well, it's so exciting. Well, I'm very excited to help you with this, so I will definitely review your draft and I'll see if I can help improve it or how I can help improve it to see if we can get funds.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what she does best.
Which she? What?
You love getting us money.
Yes, we want the monies. Getting
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Oh, wait, speaking of money, how much money did we get with 2024 G stock? I keep wanting to ask and I always forget.
So we don't like get like money like GSOT. So we get money per contributor. So that's
Mhm.
per mentee, 1,500. And we have
Okay.
like seven mentees, I think.
So we have about 7 contributors and Google pays them each one 1,500.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I was actually just realizing the other day that I didn't know how the funding worked in GSOC and I wanted to know since I wrote the application. And I was like, oh yeah, how did
Yeah.
this end? Oh, cool. Okay. Wow, that's really exciting, Thuli. The application that you're doing. I'm excited to help on it.
Okay, folks. Any question before we finish the meeting?
Uh-uh.
I will create the proper actions, okay, about everything we talk about it today. I will have them ready for tomorrow. But I will ask you to review just in case I'm missing something, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so that's all, folks.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.